CEO, I can confirm that live stream has started and we're ready to proceed.
Thank you, Greg. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this meeting of council. This is a statutory meeting of council, which will be electing a new mayor and deputy mayor and other things for the next period of time. Unfortunately, as the CEO, I need to run the start of this meeting, and unfortunately, I've caught COVID this week. It's quite untimely, but I'll be chairing this meeting for the start of the meeting, as required under the governance rules and legislation from home, and choose not to spread COVID to other people in the room. Can I just note that this meeting will be live streamed and recorded, and the voices and images of those participating in the meeting will be captured as part of this recording. Indigo Shire acknowledges the original custodians of these lands. The people of the rivers and the hills have walked these lands for thousands of years as well as today. We pay our respects to the elders of the past and the present. The councillors have taken an oath of office to carry out their duties to the best interest of the people of Indigo Shire and to do this in a fair and impartial manner. The councillors are committed to exercising the council's powers and functions to the best of their skills and judgment. Do we have any apologies or leave of absence? I do have one from one of my staff members, Sally Rice, who's director, who's unavailable today due to family reasons. And Sally is sorry that she couldn't be here today. Are there any other apologies or leaves of absence? I think that's a nil. I'll now ask for any declarations of conflict of interest, remembering councillors that during an election for mayor or deputy mayor, councillors do not have a conflict of interest as expressly excluded under the Act when voting for themselves or nominating for the role of mayor or deputy mayor. So are there any other declarations of conflict of interest at this point? That's a nil. Thank you. 5.1 in the agenda describes the meeting procedure, and I can say for that, the governance rules and the Act requires that the CEO starts the statutory meeting. I'll be sitting in the chair just for the next two items. So we'll talk about the appointment of the mayor, whether that be for 1 year or 2 years, and then we'll ask for votes on the mayor itself. Once the mayor has chosen, I will then vacate the chair and the new mayor will take over the chair of the meeting from that point forward. We now come to agenda item 5.2, setting the mayoral term. Can I please have a motion from the floor for setting the mayoral term, whether that be for 1 year or 2 years? Looks like Councillor Price.
It's Councillor Shepherd.
Sorry, Councillor Shepherd.
Yep, and I'd like to move that the mayoral term be set for 2 years.
Thank you, Councillor Price. Is there a seconder for that motion?
Councillor Shepherd.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Shepherd. Is there a seconder for that motion?
Yes, I'd like to second that, please.
Councillor Landals, second the motion. Councillor Shepherd, would you like to speak to the motion?
I think with 4 new councillors, I think it's an opportunity to have a 2-year term where we can work together under one leadership, one guidance, and I think it would be less disruptive at the beginning while we're getting our acts together, working collaboratively under one leader for 2 years would be a good idea, I think.
Thank you, Councillor Shepherd. Councillor Landals.
Fairly similar reasons. I think it will provide good stability for the first half of this 4-year term. And principally for those reasons, I think that's pretty important for any new council, but particularly in the situation where we've got 4 first-time councillors.
Thank you, Councillor Landals. Are there any other councillors who wish to speak on this motion? Is that Councillor Horn? Sorry.
I believe that our community has given us a very strong motion to look for change, and I believe that a 1-year term would be more suitable in that if we leave it for the second 2 years, it will be 3 years before we can start to make some of those significant moves.
Thank you, councillor. Does anybody else would like to speak to the motion? Can I return to you, councillor Shepherd, to sum up?
So I think this council can very easily do significant moves as 7 councillors working together. I don't think it's the mayor that creates significant moves. It's the councillors working collaboratively together. And so I'm confident that a 2-year term will mean that we will have leadership for those 2 years while we are deciding and working out where the next leadership base should be. I think one of the difficulties of having this so soon after we've just got on council is that we don't know who we've got in the room and how we're going to work together. I think 2 years is a great time to get to know each other and get some work done.
Thank you, councillor. I'll put the motion to the room. The motion is that the mayoral term be set at 2 years. Can I have a show of hands, all in favour of that motion? So, Greg, would you mind calling out the names of the people? I just can't quite see them there.
So we have Councillor Shepherd, Councillor Price, Councillor Dowsley, Councillor Burke and Councillor Landells for.
And those against, please.
Councillor Harvey and Councillor Horn.
Thank you. I declare that motion carried. We'll now move to the next item, 5.3, which is the election of mayor. So we're seeking for the election, nominations for the election of mayor for a term of 2 years. Can I please have any nominations for the position of mayor? Councillor Shepherd.
I would like to nominate Councillor Sophie Price.
Thank you, Councillor Shepherd. Councillor Price, do you accept that nomination?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Councillor. Do you have anyone to second that motion, that nomination? Councillor Dowsley.
I'll second that nomination.
Thank you. Do I have any other nominations for the position of mayor? Okay, there being no other nominations, we'll ask Councillor Price, would you like to speak to your nomination, please?
Yes, I would. So I think that we're all reflecting on the election that's taken place, and I'm really been enjoying getting to know the councillors that have been elected. I think the community doesn't get it wrong, but in this instance, I think they've got it particularly right. I think we've got a great group to work with, a diverse range of views, and we're well spread across the Shire. I'd ask for your support to put myself as mayor, because I think that I can show you really strong leadership for those first 2 years. What I intend to do, particularly with the new councillors, is to just help you to be most effective as soon as you possibly can be. I think that you don't need any of your ideas stifled. I think you're bringing great ideas to the table already. And so that's the role that I would like to play. In terms of the existing councillors, I think that you've seen my leadership style. I want to be inclusive of everyone else in the room. I want to have regular contact with each of the councillors and help you bring the issues that the community raise with you into this chamber. In terms of what that looks like to the broader community, I think that we have got a new mandate. We've got a mandate for change from this group, and I think that so far, I'd say to the community, we're hearing a strong value of mutual respect and wanting to bring all of your ideas into this chamber. I think we've got lots more work to do in the government space in terms of our advocacy, and we're really hearing from our community at the moment that there's going to need to be a real balance on this next term between the basic infrastructure, roads, rates and rubbish, but also still striving for what that community is after. So in terms of, as I say, what sort of a mayor I'll be, I want to be inclusive, I want to be available to the community, and I would really welcome your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Price. Now, Council is required to vote, even though there's only one nomination. Council is required to vote on the position of mayor. So I put the motion to the meeting that Councillor-elect that council elect Councillor Price as Mayor of Indigo Shire Council for a term of 2 years. Can I see a show of hands in favour of that motion? It looks carried unanimously to me. Thank you, councillors, and congratulations, Councillor Price. And as CEO, I really welcome you to the role of Mayor. And I ask Councillor Price to take the chair and take over chairing of this meeting, please. For people at home, we're just going to pause just for a moment while we take a photo. And if you could just...
The program had that after Deputy Mayor has been elected.
Oh, sorry. Of course, sorry. So Annabelle will now move the nameplates and put the position of Mayor onto the title under Councillor Price's name tag there. Congratulations, Councillor Price.
Thank you. And thank you to the councillors. It means a lot to have your support in this role. And I think that, as I've said, that there's early signs to our community that this is going to be a really effective council. I think that everyone wants to work really collaboratively. And I think that that's when we get the best outcomes for our community. And we'd all agree on that as our starting position. So now we move to item 5.4, the deputy mayoral term. The item is for decision. The recommendation is that Council 1 notes Governance Rule 17 that the deputy mayoral term be set for 1 year, and 2 sets the deputy mayoral term at 1 year. Can I have somebody to move that motion?
I'd like to move that motion. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Harvey has moved. Can I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Horn?
I'd like to second that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Horn. Councillor Harvey, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, I think it's self-explanatory. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Harvey. Councillor Horn, would you like to speak to the motion? No. Would any other councillor like to speak to the motion? Councillor Shepherd?
So this is just procedural because in our governance rules, we have the deputy mayor can only have 1 term, but we are being asked by the Local Government Act to declare it as well. So it really is procedural.
Thank you, Councillor Shepherd. If nobody else would like to speak to the motion and Councillor Harvey, you wouldn't like to sum up, I'll put it to the vote that the deputy mayoral term be set for 1 year and that we set the mayoral term at 1 year. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item 5.5 is election of the deputy mayor. The item is for decision, and I will call on nominations for the role of deputy mayor.
I'd like to nominate Jane Dowsley.
Councillor Greg Burke, you'd like to nominate Councillor Jane Dowsley for the role of deputy mayor. Councillor Dowsley, do you accept the nomination?
I do, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dowsley. Do we have a seconder for that nomination?
Yes, I'd like to second that motion. Thank you.
Councillor Horn, you'd like to second that motion? Do we have any other nominations for the role of deputy mayor? No? Councillor Dowsley, would you like to speak to your nomination?
Yes, please. Thank you for the nomination. Over the years, I've contributed to initiatives that have strengthened our communities, advocating for improved facilities like public toilets and recreation spaces and championing our local businesses. These experiences have reinforced my commitment to fostering vibrant, resilient communities. As Deputy Mayor, I will be proactive and collaborative. I believe in empowering our communities to thrive by prioritising sustainable development and growth, caring for our environment, and ensuring that our decisions are inclusive, transparent, and future-focused. Leadership isn't just about decisions made in council chambers. It's about listening, building trust, and acting with integrity. With 4 new councillors elected, it's clear our community is calling for change. By electing a new councillor as Deputy Mayor, we demonstrate that we have heard and respect this message. With Sophie as Mayor, this partnership of experience and fresh perspectives will allow us to question the status quo, drive innovation, and create new opportunities for a stronger and more connected Indigo Shire. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dowsley. So with no other nominations, I'll put it to the vote that Council-elect Councillor Jane Dowsley as Deputy Mayor of Indigo Shire Council for a term of 1 year. All those in favour? Jane, you can vote. Carried unanimously. Congratulations, Deputy Mayor Jane Dowsley. So it's at this point, we'd just like to pause for 30 seconds to take a quick photo. We will now move to item 6, which is the annual meeting schedule. Item 6.1 is the 2025 council meeting schedule and administration. The item is for decision and the recommendation is that Council 1 sets the following scheduled council meeting dates for 2025, being the 25th of February, the 25th of March, the 29th of April, the 13th of May, the 24th of June, the 29th of July, the 26th of August, the 30th of September, the 28th of October, the 18th of November for the statutory meeting, the 25th of November, the 16th of December. 2, determines to include the following meeting preliminaries in all council meetings, to notify the gallery that the meeting will be live streamed and recorded, acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land and the reconfirmation of councillor oath. And 3, determines that council laws provide periodic reports to council with the following content and frequency: the mayoral diary of appointments to be provided monthly, and councillors to provide a written report on funded development activities or trips as determined by the councillor in conjunction with the mayor. Can I have somebody to move that motion?
I'll move that motion. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Harvey. I know that you would probably thinking of moving it as it is in the agenda. I might suggest to you that now that the mayoral term has been set at 2 years, that we could include the statutory meeting date on the 25th of November. Are you happy to move the motion with that inclusion?
Yes, I'm quite happy to move the motion with that. It's an amendment, isn't it?
There's no motion on the table at the moment, so it would be the motion. Yep.
Okay, I'm quite happy to move that. Thank you, Mayor.
So, councillors, the change has been that there will be no 18th of November meeting. The 25th of November will be the statutory meeting and the normal council meeting. Okay, so that has been moved by Councillor Harvey. Can I have a seconder for that motion? Seconded by
I'm
Councillor.
happy to second the motion.
Seconded by Councillor Dowsley. Councillor Harvey, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, I think it's, again, I think it's self-explanatory and I think it's a good outcome and I think we're all happy with those dates. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Harvey. Councillor Dowsley, would you like to speak as seconder?
Just a small note that the council meetings are generally scheduled for the 4th Tuesday of the month, with the exceptions of May, which is brought forward due to the financial reports to give us some extra time to look at those, and the exception of December, whereby it gets a little bit too close to Christmas. Otherwise, it's the 4th Tuesday of the month.
Thank you, Councillor Dowsley. Would any other councillor like to speak to the motion? No. Councillor Harvey, would you like to sum up? I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item 7 is council committee appointments, and item 7.1 is appointments to council committees and external bodies. The item is for decision and the recommendation is that council appoints councillor representatives to the following external organisations and council committees as detailed in attachment 1. I'd like to confirm those before I get somebody to move the motion. So councillors, if you can follow me as I go through the committee appointments that we have. For the benefit of those watching the meeting, it would be we would be unable to conduct this in a reasonable way if we didn't discuss prior which councillors were going to be representatives on these committees. So we do have a document that I will table to the meeting once I've confirmed that these are the nominations for those committees. The Audit and Risk Committee, the 2 members will be Councillor Price and Councillor Burke, with Councillor Landells as the sub. The Finance Committee will be all councillors. The CEO Employment and Remuneration Advisory Committee will be all councillors. The Indigo Community Access Committee will be Councillor Landells, Councillor Burke and Councillor Price as the sub. The Indigo Cultural Heritage Advisory Committee will be Councillors Dowsley, Harvey and Shepherd. Indigo will be Councillors Dowsley, Horn, Burke, with Councillors Landells as the sub. The Indigo Environment Advisory Committee will be Councillor Horn, Shepherd, Price as sub. The Indigo Shire Community Grants Awards Advisory Committee will be Councillor Landells, Harvey with Horn as the sub. The Waganya Land Development Committee will be Councillor Price and Horn with Councillor Landells as the sub. The Events Grants will be Councillor Harvey with Councillor Landells as the sub. The Get Active Indigo Grants will be Councillor Landells with Councillor Harvey as the sub. The Reconciliation Action Plan Working Group will be Councillor Landells, Price, Dowsley and Shepherd. Did you also want to be included in that one? Yep. And the external committees, the Alliance of Councils and Shires of the Upper Murray is the Mayor and Deputy Mayor as the sub. The Australian Local Government Women's Association Victoria branch is all of the female councillors, Dowsley, Horn, Price, Shepherd. The Goulburn Murray Climate Alliance is Councillor Shepherd with Councillor Price as the sub. The Hume Region Local Government Network is the Mayor and the CEO. The Murray-Darling Basin Authority Advisory Group for the Hume to Yarrawonga Waterway Management is Councillor Burke with Councillor Dowsley as sub. The Municipal Association of Victoria Indigo Shire representative is the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor. The Murray Arts Strategic Advisory Committee is Councillor Dowsley and Councillor Landells with Councillor Horn as the sub. The Murray-Darling Association is Councillor Price. The Victoria Police Local Safety Committee is Councillor Landells, Harvey, Price and Horn. If councillors are happy that that's accurate representation, accurate reflection of what we've discussed earlier, then I will table that to the meeting. And I will now ask somebody to move that council appoints those council representatives to those committees.
I so move.
Councillor Horn, you'd like to move? Councillor Landells, would you like to second?
Yes, please.
Councillor Horn, would you like to speak to the motion?
I think that's a lovely selection of people covering all those different, very important groups that we are involved with.
Councillor Landells, would you like to speak as seconder?
Yes, thanks. I think one of the great characteristics of Indigo Shire is the amount of volunteering that goes on at a community level. I think it's a really unique and amazing an incredibly valuable resource, and I think it's supported by a lot of these committees as well. Councillors are getting actively involved in, which are some of those there are a range of organisations and committees, some of which are that are perhaps not located specifically in Indigo Shire, but include our shire as part of their footprint.
Thank you, Councillor Landells. Would any other councillor like to speak to the motion? I'd just say that in terms of other councils, we have a lot of committees that we have to get representation on. And so it's really helpful if all 7 councillors can evenly share that responsibility. And that's a pretty good representation of exactly that. So it shows good buy-in from all of the councillors, and that we value each of what the committees brings as basically extra resources to council. Would anybody else like to speak to the motion? If not, I'll go back to Councillor Horn as the mover. Would you like to sum up? Okay, I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. That brings us to the end of the meeting. So I declare the meeting closed at 6:56 p.m. The next scheduled council meeting is Tuesday, the 10th of December, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Thank you.